Hey you, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, to answer the most important question first, why would you watch this video? If you are the proverbial entrepreneur, you know, the bold, optimistic, growth, scaling, taking risks, then yeah, this video is definitely for you and you should just keep watching. And I will start with a story, a personal story. Back in 2014, I created a startup. And thankfully, I had a co-founder who was more the CFO person. He was very good with finances and very strict, not optimistic, you know, the usual finance guys, how they are. And I remember back then, it was a constant daily fight between him and me. I had so many ideas, so many things that I wanted to test and try and do. And he was constantly pushing back. He was constantly challenging me on every single thing. Well, thankfully, he was a co-founder. So I couldn't just fire him, even though I wanted to. And many years later, we both laughed about it. And we say in Slovenia, when you really hate somebody, you say that you would want to drown them in a spoonful of water. That's a huge insult in Slovenia, and it just means that you hate somebody's guts. And he had same feelings towards me, and I had those same feelings towards him. It was daily struggle, daily fight. And it was only years later when I really understood what that dynamic relationship brought to the table. Yes, I had many ideas, but not all of them were pure gold. And if we would listen only to him, we wouldn't make it as far as we did. But if we would listen to me only, we wouldn't make it as well. I'm sure we would somehow burn through the cash flow, or I would find a way to fail. So it was really the dynamic duo that was created by me being that proverbial entrepreneur and him being a very strong, opinionated CFO, and finding compromises between what he would do and what I would do. That was the key to our growth and to our success, especially when you look at the sustainability over a long period of time. Why I'm sharing this story is because, unfortunately, most entrepreneurs don't have a co-founder CFO. Usually, they just have accountant or an accounting company working for them, but you know, they are more the executioner. You already do everything, and then you bring the papers over to them, and they can't influence the decisions that were made prior to that. Often we don't listen to them now, do we? Some go and hire maybe a fractional CFO, but what we see very often is that they just take what they like, and where they disagree, they say, well, you know what, this is my company, I'm the owner, I will do it my way anyway. And very often, those CFOs, whether full-time hired or fractional CFOs, are not that strong people. Very often we see that they might be a bit more introverted, not really willing to have hard discussions. And so they just say, well, you know, it's your company. I told you not to do that. Maybe they will say, here's an email so that I have this proof in writing for when things go wrong. But, you know, it's your company. You do what you want to do. And then CEOs or entrepreneurs, they just do whatever they want. And then they find themselves later on in many difficult situations. And we see this almost on a weekly basis from companies that reach out to us. And then I'm the bad guy. You know, can you imagine? I was them just a few years ago, and I'm the bad guy telling them that no, that's not how you do things. You need to balance the thing. You need to listen to your CFO. You need to find compromises. So yeah, very funny thing. But yeah, this is what I want to emphasize. So when you're out there looking for either a fractional CFO or to hire a CFO or financial director or whatever you want to call him or his role, you need to find a person that's strong, that can push back and challenge you, and you need to respect them as if they are your peer. Whether they have shares in the company or not is irrelevant, but CFO is, in my opinion, the second most important thing for a company, because it's from that pushback, from all of those challenges, and from that creative brainstorming or discussion that should happen when those two worlds collide, that really can create balanced decisions that are most beneficial for the company. I remember my CFO, once I had to fill out an Excel sheet, and there was this little thing, monthly bank charges or something like that, and it was 12 euros and something and some cents, and I just put in 15. He gave me an 1 hour long lecture on how I'm reckless, how you do one thing, you do everything, you don't know how to plan, finances are exact science. If it's 12 point something, it's 12 point something, not 15, because that is, I don't know, 15 or 20% more. Now imagine if those were millions, what is 10 or 15%? Because for him it was just percents, for me it was just a few euros. But yeah, a lecture, and I was like, what's wrong with him? Like, this dude needs to get laid. Well, that was my honest opinion back then. But yeah, now, years later, I truly understand and I truly appreciate the value that he brought to the table. Unfortunately, he's no longer among us due to illness. But yeah, it took me many years to, the journey from in your ass to in your head is, they say, the longest journey. It took me a long time for that realization to, come into my brain, to really appreciate it and to really understand it. And I really want to emphasize how important your relationship with your financial director or CFO or fractional CFO will be. And if you hire them, respect them. Find somebody you trust, find somebody you respect, find somebody who has proven good track record. So be very choosy, be very picky. You need to find somebody who can be a strong personality as you, because if you are that optimistic, energetic, risk-taking entrepreneur, you probably are a very strong, opinionated personality, and you stand firmly behind your ideas and your visions and so on. So you need a person who is just a strong personality so that they can counter you, and that together you can find better ways to sustainably guide your vision into the future. I hope all of this makes sense. I don't want to make it too long, but feel free to drop a comment, ask follow-ups. If you want to hear more stories like this, let me know. I have plenty of stories, a lot of them involving failures. But just in general, I would appreciate your comments because, your comments can guide me on what's most valuable to you, what kind of content do you want me to create, and just you help me create more value for you. And I think we need this relationship. So, don't do anything else, just drop a comment, or if you're too shy, then, just find me on LinkedIn, connect with me there, and we can have a chat in the inbox. And that way we can exchange experiences, we can exchange stuff, and I'm sure some good ideas for my future content will come out of that. So yeah, that's it for today's quick video. It's very important to find a strong person who will be your financial director, your fractional CFO. And then treat that person with respect, treat them as your equal, and don't be afraid to go into those discussions and to try to find some middle ground ideas that will bridge the gap between how you would want to do things, how he would want or she would want to do those things. And I'm sure you will find many great ideas that will propel your business further and further and further, while also doing it in a very sustainable, cash flow friendly way. Take care, guys, and see you in the next one.